All right, you guys, welcome back this week to the Love Frequency Podcast, where we turn pain into power and we transmute that energy. This week, we're going to talk about spiritual gifts. I don't know what's been on my mind this week, but I definitely wanted to talk about spiritual gifts, where they come from, not to get too deep into it. And then, of course, per usual, we'll get into the cards. We have 2 cards this week, so stay tuned. All right, you guys, welcome back. So I wanted to talk about spiritual gifts this week. So firstly, before even getting into the cards are just tools that spiritual people can use as gifts. And honestly, nobody really needs to use cards. I think they're fun to use and use as a second tool. But just know that a lot of that energy is up to you. It's really you. Everyone on this earth, I believe, is given spiritual gifts, and some of us are tapped into those gifts a little bit more than others. So what I mean by that is you have a thought or you have a feeling and you say, I need to act on it. Creatively. It could be something as simple as you're walking around a house, you're thinking of an idea, and you say, you know what, I need to bring this idea into fruition. That could be something like opening up an art gallery. And for the longest time, for years, you've always wanted to open up an art gallery. You've always thought about it. Maybe when you were younger, you did art a lot more. And then all of a sudden, you just keep thinking about it. That is your guardians. That is your higher self. That is your intuition telling you what you need to do in this lifetime. Some of us wonder, why am I here on earth? What is my gifts? What am I meant to do? Think about that one idea that you wanted to do as a kid. That will potentially lead you into your gifts and what you need to be doing. So tap into that. Listen to yourself. A lot of things that we have is inside of us. It's our intuition. It's internally. Some people seek things outwardly, meaning they look for things outside. They look for other people to kind of like help guide them. There's nothing wrong with that. Because that is the reason why we have certain people in the world that do other gifts to help us. People are here to help us on our life path and vice versa. We are here to help other people on their life path as well. So that could be something like you run into an art teacher or a mentor who kind of teaches you and guides you on what you need to elevate, because you too have that spiritual gift. But don't think too deep into it to the point where, because my thing is, I have an issue with people leaning too much on other people, meaning everything in life should be a balance. It should be a balance of mentor, give and take. I seek mentors, I get the information, but I also don't lean on it too much because I have my internal intuition. I have my guides, my higher self guiding me internally. So I'm looking outward, but I'm also looking internally and not leaning too much on external factors to help me decide that. Because that's how you're really getting into your spiritual gifts. You're trusting yourself more. You're trusting your ideas more. You're leaning more into your thoughts, your feelings, because clairvoyance or clairaudience, or all the clairs is what I call it. Those are spiritual gifts that they let you feel, they let you see, they let you know things. You guys know. So not to get too deep into the whole clairvoyance gifts, and then I also wanted to say, have you guys ever seen the movie Constantine, and how it said we have influence in life, and those influences can be good or bad. Certain influence, like once again, our higher self, our God, whoever you believe in, your ancestors, angels. So I do believe that angels, God, and certain positive energies give us those gifts too. And they tap us on the shoulder and say, hey, today would be a great idea for you to paint that picture. Or today, tapping you on your shoulder, today is going to be a great day for you to write that song. Remember that song that I sent to you in a dream? and you just woke up, oh, that's a beautiful song. Maybe you're a musician. So it's telling you to write more. It's telling you to tap into your creative side. It's telling you to help children. It's telling you to help animals. It's telling you to help the elderly. Those are gifts. Some of us think that they're ideas, but really, where does our idea come from? The soul. Our soul is internally. So a lot of things that we're looking for is on the inside. You really don't have to seek too far outwardly for these things, but it's more so really tapping into your intuition and your spiritual gifts and trusting in yourself, because remember, God is within you. A lot of times people don't want to believe that. It's great to go to church. I go to church. I love church too. But it's also, remember what I said, it's that balance. It's saying, hey, I like to hear the word. I like to hear people. I like to hear mentors. I like to hear my pastor. But also I go home and I listen to myself. I listen to my own spirituality and my own thoughts and my own. And not to compare movies, but I love comparing movies because I feel like, once again, creative people, if I was a director or someone like that, I would probably think the same way. Transformers, Avatar, a lot, y'all know what I'm talking about. A lot of great movies, spiritual movies. The Knowing. It's another one too, where it was the aliens and they came down and they was trying to talk to the woman, but they spoke in a different language. And I guess the military, they was trying to think these alien species are bad, but really they wasn't. They was trying to tell them that something bad was about to happen, but their language was a little different. So I'm going to get the name of that movie before. So when I post this on YouTube, I'm going to get the name of that movie because I really want you guys to look into that too, but not to go too deep on movies. I love movies, but I also like comparing what I talk about to movies because I think creative people, they think the same way. Wow, this is a great idea. Let's put this in a movie. But really, that's some real shit. That's some real life stuff that you can really tap into. Quantum leaping and stuff like that. Going to the future, going to the past. We'll get into that more because I don't want to make this too deep. I want to stick to the topic of spiritual gifts and more so saying that your spiritual gifts come to you, whether that be a dream, because some of you guys could be seers. For me, I'm a seer. I'm a lot of things with the clear, so I have a lot of different senses. Like I said, I don't need these because a lot of times I can feel things, I know things, and I see things, and just amongst a lot of other stuff. And when I was younger, I used to do a lot of artwork and writing as well. So I'm really good at writing. And that's where my spiritual gifts come from, because I'll get an idea and I have to write this idea down. And part of that is what I need to be doing in this lifetime. When I was younger, I used art a lot. A lot of my artwork is in Baltimore, but I would love to show you guys my artwork, but it's pretty dope. I would do a lot of clay work and I would put a lot of my spiritual, I guess, ideas into the artwork. So I would draw angels and different spiritual aspects and stuff like that into my art. And I also draw, and I was really good at drawing. I think my hands were really good. And of course my voice. So speaking to people, having that warrior, advocating for people, speaking for people, having an idea and being able to explain that. This is probably what that means. I'm very good at interpreting things for others too. So someone like my niece the other day came to me and she told me about her dream that she had. And I was able to tell her, interpret it, that, and I had to let her know, you're not going crazy. That's actually your spiritual gifts trying to tap in. Some people think they're going crazy. Some people think, wow, why did I think of that? That is your spiritual gifts and your intuition telling you what it is or what's going on or what's to be. So don't be afraid, you guys, to tap into that. And I don't want to speak too much on the dark side, but just know that you have good and bad. So for those who ever wonder, maybe there's some people that's in a home, I would say, that is for mental patients. I don't think a lot of those patients are have mental illness. I think a lot of them have certain gifts that they're not able to understand or handle or be able to interpret and handle on this dimension. So it comes off as crazy or something else to us, but really it's a gift for them. So it's a gift for them. So you just never know. Don't judge people on their gifts, or if they do have a mental illness, it may not be that. It may just be something that most humans don't understand and able to interpret. That's what I think about certain people that's in the hospital and certain ward units. You know what I'm trying to say, y'all. Sorry if I don't know how to pronounce it. My W's is crazy, but certain type of hospitals, don't judge anyone because you don't know what they could be feeling or seeing. It's just we don't have that level of their gift to be able to understand that. This year, into the number 1 year, Y'all need to start really tapping into your spiritual gifts. And the funny thing is, I was reading something the other day as well, and it was talking about 3D versus 5D. Have you guys ever noticed that recently? I would say maybe this past year for sure, for me too. A lot of us been a lot sleeping and really trying to get ourselves together, where sleeping is another dimension. I think how an avatar, how he turned into the avatar, I think sometimes when we go to sleep, really that's our body going into the other dimension or another world, because everything could be parallel. Sometimes they say time is non-existent. It's neither in the future, it's neither right now, it's neither in the past. Everything is working in a collective. When you go to sleep, I think that is your body's way to reset, of course, rejuvenate, of course, but also go into another world that may be another you. What is you got? What are your thoughts about that? Leave that in the comments for me. But me and my niece was talking about that too, because I'm like, I was just researching that quantum leaping and all this other stuff and just dream world and dreaming. Some of us can dream things and go into different realities and be really good at it. That's another thing that I can add for this. Spiritual gifts too. Certain communities, herbs. A lot of y'all think people doing witchcraft and all this stuff, but what do you think your ancestors did a long time ago when we didn't have the doctors and the pharmacies? That's seen in Sinners, where she was like the hoodoo woman. Some people in Black communities, especially, or even Hispanic communities, may see that as a bad thing. Oh no, you can't do that. You can only stick to certain stuff that's Bible related. I have a Bible. I have two. But I also do my herbs, and I don't think that is considered negative or witchcraft. I don't know where people get that idea, but it's natural. It's from the earth. When we didn't have pharmacies or anything like that, what do we have to look to? The natural herbs. And guess what? A lot of these diseases that's going on right now, because of the food, because of all these chemicals that we have, we didn't have all of that stuff back in the day. Hundreds of years ago. Yeah, there was other diseases, but I'm just saying we didn't have all of that. We had simple ingredients, and we didn't have all this stress either. We would hunt, and then we would do our meditation, and it would be family. It would be a lot of us working together and not just one person. I think in this day and age, too many of us are stressed out because it's only one of us doing everything. We're not eating healthy. We're not tapped into our spiritual gifts and our higher self and really tapping into the herbs, the earth, grounding yourself, going outside in nature. You know what I'm saying? Really living instead of being around the chaos every day. I think that's what's causing a lot of the diseases and stress, is because people are not really tapping into the natural gifts that God gave us. And another thing too, your spiritual gifts or your higher self or your guide, whatever, like I said, whatever you guys believe in would do. For me, I've been a pescatarian over 20 years. Now, when I first became a pescatarian, I did not become a pescatarian for anything like religious belief or nothing like that. I was very young at the time. But as I got older, I feel like that was spiritual self saying that eventually you're going to have to give that up. Eventually, you're going to have to stop eating certain things because your future self is this way. Your future self is someone that is a healer, that's a warrior, that's a spiritualist, and you cannot intake certain chemicals in your body. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm not perfect, but I feel like slowly over these 20 something years, my higher self has been slowly weaning me off certain things. You know what I mean? Eating certain stuff, alcohol, even certain clothes have chemicals in them. But like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that material stuff isn't everything, because I'm a human. But I think slowly my spiritual self is saying, you don't need that. And this isn't a rush. So for you guys out there who's listening, this is not a rush. Do it on your time. Eat whatever you want to eat. Do whatever you want to do. But it's going to come a time where maybe yourself is telling you, I can no longer do these things. I can no longer hang around certain people. I can no longer eat certain stuff. And also, when I did stop eating meat, because I am a pescatarian, so I do eat seafood, but not all the time. My diet consists mostly of vegetables every day, but I do eat seafood. Now, not to talk off the lane, but my menstrual cycle definitely changed. So that let me know right there 20 years ago that I couldn't eat certain stuff like chicken, pork, all of that, because, hey, I have a lot of menstrual cycle. I'm a little bit more healthier in that regard as a woman. So when I gave up meat, I didn't do it intentionally to say, hey, I'm doing it because of X, Y, Z. I just did it because something in me said you can no longer do it. And that's what really happened. Genuinely. I woke up one day and I said, today's the day I'm going to stop eating certain foods, and I stopped. I'm very good at like fasting. I could literally fast for days on end. I do not need to eat a lot of meals every day. I eat when I'm hungry, and I eat to fuel, but not to like overdo it. And not saying that I'm perfect. Like I said, you guys don't feel like you need to stress yourself out and become a vegan or a pescatarian. I'm just telling you guys my story. So once I did that, I would say a lot of my spiritual gifts really started connecting. Because when you drain yourself with, like, let's say alcohol and drugs, that can inhibit your frequency. Spiritual gifts and certain spiritual entities are vibrating on a different spiritual plane. So the more that you do certain things to harm yourself or harm your body, it lowers your frequency. Okay, just keep that in mind. So yeah, we could talk about this literally all day, but don't worry, I'm going to continue to kind of like, talk a little bit more about spirituality. My channel is a little bit about everything. I interview, like I said, I interview people. I interview, all types of people, not just celebrities. I talk about health. I talk about wealth. I talk about different things on this channel. It's not just one fits all, but it is something that I can relate to as far as like a love frequency that is about me. So it's tapping in pieces of me. Like I am, I would say, a chameleon, or it's another word for it. I don't want to say chameleon, but I'm able to do a lot of stuff. So which people may see on the camera, behind the scenes, I could do so many things, so many different fields. So, I'm very advanced. But with that being said, let's get into the cards. So we have exchanging gifts. That may be self-explanatory. Exchanging gifts and TikTok. This is my favorite one. And it speaks perfectly on what we're talking about today. TikTok. Now, you guys remember what TikTok means. But exchanging gifts mean what I said earlier in the conversation. Okay? It's a give and it's a take. So it's not saying too much where you're pouring too much into something and you're taking too much of anything. It's about a balance. Everything in life is about a balance. It's about give and it's about take. So it's about exchanging your gifts and showing people your gifts and receiving those gifts, allowing others to show you their gifts. So having that balance, having the mentors, but also looking internally to yourself, because everything that you're looking for really is within you. So many people want to rush to outside sources. Like I said, whether that be the church or mentors, that's fine. But just know that we are all on this earth given something. And some of us just don't know that is your gifts coming through trying to tell you, because you're not listening. You're not calming yourself. You're not calming your thoughts to say, I'm going to listen to myself. I had an idea. Something doesn't seem right. Like, have you ever got that feeling when you're walking down the street or something and you like, something don't seem right? That is your spirit. That is your, higher self. That is God. That is, whatever you believe in telling you something isn't right. So you need to listen to it. Okay. But it's about being fair. It's about being a balance. It's about tapping into your gifts, but also give and take. Okay. And lastly, we have the TikTok. Okay. So we've had this card before, but to kind of blend it in what we're talking about today, time is neither forward or backward. It's right now. Okay, it is right now. So it's like, what are you doing in the moment of time? It's not saying that tick tock, like you're running out of time, but it is saying wake up and listen and pay attention to what's going on. It's not to say you got to rush yourself. It's not to say that you're ahead or behind. You are neither. You are right now. Okay. So that is what I have for you guys this week. I think February is going to be a good month, but I think March is going to be lit. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this 2026. And yeah, I just want to say to my followers, thank you guys for following me. And also don't forget to follow me if you like my channel. And also don't be afraid to email me or respond. And maybe it's a topic that you want to talk about, or maybe it's something that you need clarity on. I can help you with that. So just reach out to me, email me, info@lovefrequency.co, and I'm happy to, answer any questions that you may have. or that you're trying to interpret. But just remember, as a mentor, if someone comes to me, what am I going to say? I'm going to give you that advice. I'm going to give you that opinion, but I'm going to also tell you, what do you feel? What is your thoughts? What is your feelings about the situation? Because remember, whatever you think and feel, that's what it is. That's your gifts. That's, some of us just don't trust it. But we really need to start trusting in ourselves and believing in ourselves, in our gifts. And don't be afraid to speak your gifts and live your truth. Until next time.